Poland's lower house of parliament has approved a bill that aligns with the European Union's markets in crypto assets, MiCA framework. This legislative step brings the country closer to establishing a formal regulatory structure for digital assets. The bill, identified as print number 2529 in the Sejm's legislative database, has passed the lower chamber and now moves toward further legislative review. For Poland, this is a significant move toward integrating its crypto market into the broader EU regulatory landscape. The MiCA framework is a comprehensive legal structure designed to govern crypto asset issuers and service providers. It requires each EU member state to incorporate relevant provisions into national law before the framework can take effect. Domestically, Poland's approval of the MiCA-aligned bill is a concrete step in that direction. The legislation sets the stage for regulating crypto exchanges, token issuers, and other digital asset service providers within the country. This development is important for market participants already operating in Poland or considering entry into the market. The approval introduces a clearer regulatory path, even if it is still in the early stages of implementation. The MiCA framework is not unique to Poland. Similar legislative patterns are emerging across Europe as countries adapt to the EU's unified approach to crypto oversight. Poland has an active crypto user base, but the lack of a dedicated national framework has left market. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. Participants relying on a patchwork of existing financial regulations. The MiCA-aligned bill is intended to replace that ambiguity with specific licensing and conduct requirements. This shift could help stabilize the market and provide clearer expectations for exchanges, custodians, and token issuers. The regulatory clarity introduced by the MiCA framework is a key factor in attracting institutional interest and encouraging responsible market behavior. With more structured rules in place, investors and service providers can better understand their obligations and rights. This is particularly relevant in a market like Poland's, where the crypto ecosystem is growing but still lacks a formal regulatory foundation. The bill's passage in the lower house is a procedural milestone, but it does not guarantee final approval. The legislation will still need to pass through the upper chamber and receive royal assent before it can take effect. The next signal to watch is whether the bill will be adopted in its current form or if amendments will be introduced during the legislative process. The MiCA framework is part of a broader trend of regulatory harmonization across the EU. As more countries align their laws with the framework, the crypto market will become more predictable and transparent. This could lead to increased investor confidence and broader adoption of digital assets in the region. However, the implementation of MiCA is still in its early stages, and the full impact of the framework on Poland's crypto market remains to be seen. The next signal to monitor is how the upper house of parliament responds to the bill and whether any significant changes will be proposed. In the broader context of global crypto regulation, Poland's move reflects a growing trend of national governments seeking to establish clear legal frameworks for digital assets. This trend is particularly evident in Europe, where regulatory alignment is seen as a way to foster innovation while managing risk. The approval of the MiCA framework in Poland is a development that could influence other EU member states still in the early stages of regulatory adoption. As more countries, most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. Follow suit, the crypto market will become more integrated and subject to a common set of rules. The MiCA framework is not without its challenges. The process of implementing the framework domestically can be complex, and there may be resistance from market participants who prefer a more flexible regulatory environment. The next signal to watch is whether the bill will face any opposition or delays during the final stages of the legislative process. Overall, Poland's approval of the MiCA framework represents a significant step toward a more structured and regulated crypto market. The next signal to monitor is the bill's progress through the upper house of parliament and whether it will receive final approval.